YouTube. I don't know why I said it like that. YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Rob Cam, and welcome back to the Rob Cam Show. And this one, of course, we got another reaction video coming from Sportskeeda Wrestling, and his WWE has, or there, I should say, WWE has a huge WrestleMania 41 problem. So, well, first things first, we always gotta leave a like on the videos we're watching. Support is free. Remember that, because what I'm about to say is very important. Just if you want to subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling, all his info is in the description if you want to check him out. And this is the part I'm talking about. Support is free. Subscribe to Rob Cam. Subscribe to the Rob Cam Show. Leave a like on the video. Share it to your friends. Do that for your boy. And without further ado, let's get into it.
If you think this build up to WrestleMania has been a bit underwhelming and a bit uncharacteristic for WrestleMania season, well, you're not alone. It isn't that we haven't seen bad or underwhelming build-ups to WrestleMania before. It's just that we haven't seen it under the Triple H era. The build-up to WrestleMania 39 and 40 in comparison were straight fire. The stakes felt high, the matches felt right, and even though everything wasn't as perfect, it was a whole lot better and more exciting than what we're getting today. Not only that, but the European Tour has been a very interesting choice in the build-up. We're going to get into why and explain just exactly why the build-up to this WrestleMania is even more absurd than it seems on the surface. So you're probably aware of the fact that WWE is in quite a hot era right now, and it has been for over 2.5 years. It seems like they can't really go wrong, and each event seems to set some new record or the other. It's quite clear in the attendance and the reactions from the audience that this is quite literally the healthiest place that WWE has been in a very, very long time. It's hard to even think of a period in the 2010s that was this hot. In 2011, you had the Summer of Punk. In 2012, there was the iconic Rock vs. Cena feud. And 2016 was arguably the best year of the entire 2010s when you look at it from a quality standpoint. But this level of consistency
2016
unprecedented.
SmackDown
It
was
only makes sense that it has to come to an end at some point. Just to be clear, this isn't a doom and gloom type of thing. It's just pointing out the fact that the build up to WrestleMania has left a lot to be desired. There were a lot of questions about the choice of the Royal Rumble winners, particularly the men's one. When you consider the fact that neither Rumble winner is headlining WrestleMania, it starts to make less sense by the minute. The only feud that's really been lighting up the world is the Women's World Championship rivalry, but even the epicness of Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair hasn't been enough to justify the overall build-up.
And also, can I say this? Why are y'all so down on Io being in this? Like, why are we like? I see people online talk about, oh, why is Io in this match? We don't need Io for. Don't get me wrong, guys. Do I want to see Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley 1-on-1 just because they are that's their, how do I say it? Them two are the faces of their generation, of their female wrestling generation. They're, for WWE at least, those two are the face of for that company. I get it. We all need to. It's basically seeing The Rock versus Stone Cold, or John Cena versus Randy Orton, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, blah blah blah. The list goes on and on. But basically, this is like the two biggest women in WWE, star power wise, going at it. Now, I get we just want to see them have a one-on-one match, which is fine. I'm all for that. I kind of did want to see that in general, but I'm not mad that Io Sky, who's a great wrestler, wanted very much over. And I honestly, I'm just mad that, first of all, wait, did Io? No, Io wasn't in the Elimination Chamber. She had the match on Raw for the world title after that. First of all, Triple H been cooking for the longest, and y'all don't even realize that story been being told. That story has been told since Io got screwed out of winning the world title. Y'all just didn't think Io was actually gonna win the Women's World Championship on a random episode of Raw. That's what y'all problem is. I understand this story, and I understand the build to it. I understand what Triple H is doing. A lot of y'all just don't, because it goes over a lot of y'all heads, and I get it. We are gonna get Rhea versus Bianca at some point. Probably if whoever wins this match, probably will be the favorite to out of Rhea and Bianca would be the favorite. If one of them wins, then they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it at SummerSlam. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're gonna do. They have to because it's 2 nights of SummerSlam. They're gonna do Rhea versus Bianca, and they want to save it for uh. How do I say this? I was gonna say for a big moment, but the fact that SummerSlam, this is the first night of SummerSlam, first time SummerSlam is a 2 night show. I feel like that's what they're saving that for. Honestly, if you really think about it, and I'm not opposed to EO being in a match because it adds to the story, and it actually makes sense story wise if you really look at it. If you really go back and look at this story, the story of those 3 women, it makes sense. It makes sense, but at least it makes sense as far as EO being inserted into into this, because honestly, if you had to give me for Bianca and Rhea's generation of who's their 4 pillars of women wrestling, is Rhea, Bianca, EO. It was supposed to be Raquel, but we see how that's going right now. It was supposed to be Raquel, so I don't know who the 4th pillar in that group of women, like how they have the 4 horsewomen. I don't know who's the 4th pillar of that group. Like I said, it was supposed to be Raquel, but she got injured way too much. So I would say that's tough because it is supposed to be Raquel, but she's just been injured way too much. So I don't know who would be the 4th pillar, but they're dead. Those 3 women I name are the pillars of their generation for women, for WWE women's wrestling for now. As such as not Bianca, Sasha was, Bailey and Becky and Charlotte was. You got Rhea, Bianca, Io, and then, like I said, it's supposed to be Raquel, but you see how that went.
A heel turn should have been the moment, but they failed to capitalize on it immediately, and when they did, it was Cena just blaming the fans for treating him badly, despite the fact that he was unanimously respected for nearly a full decade.
I honestly was gonna say Asuka, but I'm like, Asuka is kind of a little bit before that, but not too crazy enough to be added to it. But I feel like she's just nah. I can't. Asuka's great. I'm not saying nothing bad about Asuka. I'm trying. If Asuka is the 4th pillar, I don't feel like she's the 4th pillar of that generation because she came in a little bit before that. So like I said, it was supposed to be Raquel, but she just kept getting injured.
More layers to the story, but the moment at Elimination Chamber had far more of an impact than the build that followed. Add to the fact that Cena isn't advertised for any of the shows in April until WrestleMania, and it leaves all sorts of questions. Jey Uso versus Gunther hasn't exactly been it either, and Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair is another rivalry that could have been done a bit better. But we're talking just the creative side of things. The reason we made this video is the more unexplored side that's only really been talked about by a few people on social media. So like we mentioned, WWE has been,
and Tiffany and Charlotte are literally like Tiffany Stratton, like her generation of the 4 horsewomen. It's her, Roxanne, maybe not Jada Parker. What's her name? The punk rock girl that went on with Braun Breaker. I know her name is Is it Jada or Jade? Cora Jade. That's her name. It's supposed to be Roxanne, Tiffany, Cora Jade, and I don't know. It's tough. I feel like the women is more tough. I feel like the women really be having 3. I don't leave in the comments below who's the 4th between the Rhea era, Rhea, Bianca, and Io, and Tiffany, Roxanne, Cora Jade. You could, I wouldn't say Stephanie or Julia right now because I feel like they're their own pillars for the next coming up. But you can say Stephanie Valkyrie or Julia.
in hot and coinciding with
But
the
I feel like
TKO merger that happened.
I feel like with them two, it's kind of the same situation as Asuka in a way. Like they're already been established in the wrestling world that it's like it's hard to place them to say, yo, you're a pillar. They're not really like homegrown WWE pillars. Like they've been so international and so such stars internationally that they already have their own brand and a name for themselves
a couple of years ago,
to
things
work off
started to
of.
shift. Although
They have a
WWE
good
has always
resume
been
to
a
say, basically.
for-profit company and was meant to serve shareholder interest for 2 decades before the sale, it feels like it's reached a whole new level. You've probably heard this after every major premium live event. Triple H is in his chair in the press conference announcing how said event was the highest grossing event in WWE history.
WrestleMania
Each
41,
WrestleMania
the
seems
highest
to be the
grossing
highest
event.
gate ever. Shows like Backlash have the highest arena gate ever. Royal Rumble 2025 was the highest grossing non-WrestleMania event ever, etc., etc. In case you weren't aware, the only reason that these events gross so much money is that the ticket prices increase. That's literally it. The stadiums aren't getting more seats, the tickets are getting more expensive. Now, this shouldn't be surprising because WWE's creative product has been hot, and it has been the hottest ticket in town wherever they go. The shows are
And we are in inflation, so
sold out
there's
a
that.
lot of the time, but that
Inflation
doesn't
does play a
necessarily
part to
seem
shit.
to be the case for Las Vegas this year. Courtesy of Ticketmaster and various screenshots on Twitter, it's clear just how much the average fan has been priced out of the WWE experience. If you look at Ticketmaster, the cheapest possible seats you can get, which are in the nosebleeds, cost $200 per day without additional fees. Want a floor seat? The one you can get closest to the ring, and it's not even that close to begin with, cost a whopping $15,000. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Throw in the meet and greets, the SmackDown and Raw before WrestleMania, the Hall of Fame, the roast of WrestleMania, etc. One fan pointed out that he paid $1,100 for a 2-day ticket combo, and it involves 0 perks. Want to attend WWE World? Gotta pay another $300, and that doesn't even include autographs or photos with superstars. Those are separate. Want to attend the Hall of Fame? That's $225 without any additional fees for the cheapest ticket. If you want to have a meet and greet with Lex Luger and Triple H, that's $8,500. If you want to attend the roast of WrestleMania with Mr. Tony Hinchcliffe, then that's a minimum $995. You'd think that include a meet and greet with superstars like Miz, Braun Strowman, perhaps even Tony Hinchcliffe himself. Maybe you'd get a photo op on the stage and a priority pass entrance. Nope. For that privilege, you need to pay a bare minimum of $2,350 before any additional fees. It's not hard to see how with all these ticket prices, the hotels, food, flights, etc., it all adds up very, very quickly. So what does this have to do with the build up to WrestleMania 41? Just about everything. While the TKO merger has been a success on a few levels, and Nick Khan has proven to be a good leader while Triple H has been allowed to have creative control, we're really starting to see the corporate side come out. WWE can justify these ticket prices because the product has been hot, but how far can you justify it when this has been the build up to WrestleMania 41? Last Word on Sports.com did a brilliant analysis, so we recommend you check
You know
out
how I wish the how it would have went. I wish Vince would have just stepped down and gave the company to Triple H and Stephanie to run, and maybe Shane. Like I don't like the fact that they don't have it in their family no more. Don't get me wrong, Vince has done some fucked up shit. But I feel like that's something that could have stayed in their family, like for the next generation to take care of and be a part of. You know what I'm saying? For their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate that they don't own it. I don't know if any of them have shares in the company still or parts in the company or how much it entails. I don't know if Vince even has shares still. I think he sold most of it, especially with the scandals. But I don't like that, you know, the McMahons unfortunately are not like involved in something that they basically created, their family created. Like it's not in their family. It's still being run by said family, but it's technically not. Like it's just weird. Like I feel like if Vince was like a more level headed person, didn't have such an ego and whatever the case is wrong with him. There's a lot wrong with him. I feel like if it was like a better situation or better circumstances, I feel like, hey guys, I'm gonna retire this year. Let's try to transition Hunter into being a part of creative and whoever he wants on his team, like Sean, like Hunter and Sean being in control and having their team, and Nick taking over in the business side, and Stephanie basically being me and stuff like that, or whatever you want to go with. It just sucks that they don't have their creation in their family no more. And that's me talking. I don't even own like it's just sad, you know.
Article on WWE's
I would rather them
premiumization
still
of
have parts in
WrestleMania.
the company.
One of the
Maybe they
parts of
do,
the
maybe they
article
don't.
that
I don't
stood
know.
out to us that made our jaw drop was the insane rise of WrestleMania ticket prices. The website highlighted how accessible it was for fans in the early days.
Oh my
For
God.
example, front row
Yeah,
tickets
yeah.
at the inaugural WrestleMania cost $100, which is almost $300 today adjusted to inflation. WrestleMania 20 in 2004 had front row seats for $1,000, which were the most expensive tickets by far. A decade later, front row prices were between $2,000 to $2,500, which isn't really that bad. 8 years later, things start to skyrocket quite a bit. WrestleMania 38 front row tickets were heading upward to $10,000, and you can see an exponential rise in the prices. For
Hey, if
WrestleMania
you got $10,000 to just to waste like that, kudos to you. That's the time I'm trying to be on.
40, the price capped at $23,000. But
If
only
you got
1 year later,
$23,
front row tickets cost
kudos
a
to you, 'cause I'm
mind-blowing,
trying to be on that
wait for
time.
it, $50,000
If you got
freaking
$50,000 to
That exponential rise in price is
waste,
absolutely insane.
kudos to you,
considering
'cause
the
I'm
state
trying to
of
be on
the
that time.
economy today, whether you live in the United States, Canada, Ireland, Australia, Japan, or India. It doesn't matter because those prices are downright ridiculous. When you consider the first WrestleMania front row tickets adjusted for inflation only cost $100 more than the cheapest nosebleeds this year, it starts to look insane. It's clear that it's a change in strategy. According to the same article we referenced, it highlights WWE's trend of turning WrestleMania into a premium, must-see, once-in-a-lifetime event. So in that regard, they don't mind pricing out the family that wants to make their kids' dreams come true by attending WrestleMania. Most fans simply
like
can't afford it,
WrestleMania
and
for-
let's address
it's like
something
wrestling
as
for- it's like-
straightforward as we can. A once in
It's like Disney World for wrestling. That's what they trying to make that week into. Basically, it's like Disney World for wrestling. It's like if you had to compare that to some for families, it'd be Disney or Universal or whatever theme park that people go on vacation for with their kids. That's why they added so much WWE World and all this stuff. That's basically what they're trying to create out of this stuff, like not amusement park feel, but like he said, the family aspect of it. He's trying to give it, gives it that feel like, yo,
a lifetime premium experience works when you're getting main events involving The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, etc. While Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk are the marquee names headlining this year, it's the equivalent of putting a fancy bow on a hollow gift and then charging a bomb for it. WWE is trying to make WrestleMania into a Super Bowl-like event, and the NFL has successfully priced out the average fan.
I saw Santino used to say it. WrestleMania. I forgot how Santino used to say
willing to pay those prices.
Santino used to be like, "There, I can't do it." Yo, he used to say it crazy.
To attend WrestleMania, but is it really
WrestleMania? Some shit like that.
Does watching the Jey Uso Gunther feud make you want to go and be like, "Yeah, I'm willing to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that"? Like we said, WWE is in a position where they can currently command these type of ticket prices, but for how long? Once WrestleMania is done, you're gonna see Triple H in his high seat in the press conference bragging about how this was the highest-grossing WrestleMania in WWE history. You're going to see them show off a lot of these metrics that sound impressive, but the question is, impressive to who? Maybe to the TKO shareholders, but what about the average fan who just wants to see a good product? You're going to be hard-pressed to find a fan who actually cares. You're probably going to argue that because it's Las Vegas, it adds an element of premiumization.
Nah, imagine these niggas have betting on WrestleMania. I'll be like, if you don't get the fuck out of my face with that, honestly,
create
never mind. I might actually win a couple dollars.
A further divide between WWE
Do
and
it.
its fans.
I might
In
actually
an
win a
attempt to
couple
make
dollars.
WrestleMania an incredibly premium event, WWE is going to intentionally isolate the millions of fans who don't belong to economically privileged categories. It isn't just since 2008 that WWE targeted family crowds. It's been for decades in the past. Except for a period in the 2000s, family crowds have always been a big part of WWE. You can't go on the media and state that WWE is committed targeted to the family
That young man
demographic,
who
while
will remember
completely
that forever.
outpricing parents who have to tell their
So
children
emotional.
with great
Yeah.
bitterness and disappointment that their dream of attending
What'd you say?
WrestleMania can't be fulfilled because it's just too expensive. In the end, average people are going to choose their rent and bills to pay over WrestleMania, and it's only a matter of time before fans start to vote with their wallets. When it starts to affect every non-WrestleMania event and tickets are just a little too out of reach, WWE is going to have to get off its high horse with these statistics that make them look more profitable than ever. In a world that's getting increasingly divided between people at the top, the middle class, and the poor, WWE is positioning itself as unapologetically on top, and this is bound to create a sense of resentment from fans. With WrestleMania 39 and 40, WWE booked the build-up and the shows
wonder how
like
old
they
that
had
girl
a
is now.
point to prove.
That was
In
2012. She probably
2025,
like-
the booking has gotten so complacent that they are relying on hot
Probably
European
like
crowds
18,
to cover up
something
the
like that.
fact that the shows have been
Jeez, probably
boring
in
for
high
the most
school.
part and not very
That was such a
WrestleMania
long
worthy.
time ago.
This has been
Time
one
has
of the
gone
biggest
by
missteps that
fast.
they've taken since TKO took over, and it may take a while before lessons are learned. Sure, fans in Brussels don't have to shell out 150 euros for a tiny wristband in the merch store, but making that argument misses the point entirely. It's a matter of time before
And
the
I'm not gonna
bubble
lie, I
bursts.
feel like that's why they're not trying to do WrestleMania overseas for right now. It's because of the money. Well, at least for right now, I feel like the money that they could make more money in the United States if they were. I could be wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to say I'm right. Like, this is just me having a hot take right now. I feel like the reason why they're not really trying to give WrestleMania like overseas push, like London, the UK push, or wherever, overseas Europe push, is because the money won't add up to US. It might. I don't know how currency work. They could do the transfer into US. Who knows? But I feel like that's the reason why they don't want to. I could be wrong. Like I said, I feel like the money does have to play an aspect into it.
And the build-up to WrestleMania 41 has been one massive misstep for WWE and TKO. It paints them in an arrogant light, telling fans that they don't care if they can't afford tickets because someone else is willing to pay that price. But once that bubble bursts, you're likely going to see the TKO executives come back down to earth. You're probably going to see a greater focus on creating a solid build-up to WrestleMania. And hopefully fans will wake up to the fact that WWE bragging about gates isn't something to applaud. It should be a wake-up call that those paying absurd ticket prices are being overcharged by a company that's worth billions.
Like, damn,
Time will tell how things will play out. But if the ticket prices continue to rise like this, it's only a matter of time before most fans realize the truth that the best seat is in your house having some snacks and drinks and watching wrestling on television or streaming. You may not get that live experience, but it isn't as bad as you might think. Let us know what you think about the build up to WrestleMania and WWE charging absurd ticket prices. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Great video. Like I said, shout out to Sportskeeda Wrestling. All the information will be in the description below. Let me set up because I'm kind of rude to y'all. Talk to you guys like you're, we're here. Yeah. I feel like WWE's hot right now, and they're gonna take advantage of them being very, very hot, white hot, if some would say, in the wrestling world. That they're gonna take advantage of just being hot. Like, they're gonna overprice shit. That's one, and then also inflation kind of does play a part into this. Maybe not. Yeah, it does. But maybe not. I don't know. I'm not. If it doesn't have to do with me, I don't know. I just smacked my nose. Do I think it's I think, like he said, the money can make like the product. The money can take away from the product. If they're so focused on money so much, trying to get the gate opening or whatever revenue they could get out of it, I feel like they're just more so focused on that aspect than versus putting out a good product. Because I ain't gonna lie, the last couple builds, especially last WrestleMania, was fire. This year, I feel like I'm watching an overstacked SmackDown for 2 nights, or Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't give that feel like it's WrestleMania. Like, I feel like we're just watching a fucking random episode of SmackDown and Raw put together. Bragging rights. There we go. We're watching bragging rights at WrestleMania, or whatever you want to call this shit. But yeah, I feel like first of all, the part for the it's complicated to say because they're white hot because of the product they be putting out. I feel like after a while, if they start making money, and it just becomes about money, then we turn it back to what Vince was doing because that's what Vince cared about. He didn't give a fuck about the product. He just gave a fuck about him making money, making his pockets fatter. And I hope, even though I know Triple H is not that type of person, I hope whoever's in charge and whatever, whoever, I don't know your name, I don't give a fuck. I hope that person doesn't get as greedy, or because I heard he was close with Vince McMahon, whoever's in charge of McMahon. So if it turns into that aspect of him like just wanting, just make money, I don't care what y'all put out, like don't even put on no hot shit, like just get the bread, then it becomes a problem. But as of right now, like I said, I feel like the last two WrestleManias have felt like WrestleManias. This one, it feels like WrestleMania, but I feel like the stories is missing that little. Maybe not. I would say Gunther and Jey Uso story is good. It got a little bit of that spice to it. Some of these stories is missing that spice. The Cody and John Cena shit is missing spice because John Cena is doing a movie. Why are you going on tour and still working movie dates? I don't know. Cause what was the point of that? Anyway, the point of you doing this tour was to literally. I was mad because I was gonna buy tickets to go to Raw in Madison Square Garden sometime in March. I forgot what day it was. And he wasn't on that Raw. So I would have brought them tickets thinking I would have saw John Cena on this tour and he's not on the show. What type of tour is this? This ain't no tour. A tour is a tour. Kobe farewell tour was a goddamn tour. That's the last time you seen Kobe Bryant. My man's went into every city, whether he was playing or not. We saw Kobe Bryant, right? John Cena still doing movies, which I feel like you could have left the movie commitments. You could have did a year without the movie commitments. I'm gonna be honest. Like you could have went a year and just focused solely on just, all right, this is my last run in WWE. Let's make the best out of it. Let's try to do it. Like I get it. You're in Hollywood now. You have commitments. Blah blah blah. But don't do a tour and it's not a tour and not everybody get to see you. Like I don't even know if he's gonna be in Madison Square Garden or be in the Barclays Center one last time before it's all said and done, because I seriously was gonna buy them tickets, but good thing I didn't. But yeah, anyway guys, hopefully WWE doesn't become what it used to and just crave money. We don't go backwards and we're trying to all move forward in life and be better people and better for ourselves and whoever we care about. Let that be a lesson for you. Not a lesson, but words of wisdom from Rob Cam. You know what I'm saying? We should have a little segment, words of wisdom. Nah, I'm fucking with y'all. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. Well, first of all, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and share it to your friends. And also remember, keep doing your thing, baby, and make it make sense. I'll see you on the next video. Safety.